So there's this deal going down.
Where's it gonna be? Vegas or Rio?
Word on the street is it's gonna be in... Word on the street is it's gonna be in... Word on the street is... The deal's going down...
In Vegas.
¡Alerta! ¡Discriminación en pista! ¡Alerta! ¡El otro sueño por la vista! ¡Alerta!
Back in the streets with Driver 2, an Infogrames game.
Sony are heralding Dark Cloud as the benchmark RPG for PS2, and we can see why. Sony have taken the traditional RPG genre one step further and added a SimCity-cum-Populous terrain editor to the package. This allows you to completely redesign your own village from an isometric 3D viewpoint. You can then transport yourself into your utopic creation at the press of a button, allowing you to fully explore the landscape in a stunning 3D environment and try out a vast array of building options. Dark Cloud's FMV intro sets the scene. An evil entity sends giant fireballs raining down from the skies, razing everything in their path, including your village. You and your fellow villagers are forced to flee, vowing one day to return and fight again to take back what is rightfully yours. The animation and graphics in Dark Cloud are outstanding. Add to this the spooky atmosphere created by the clever camera angles and haunting sound effects, and you get something altogether new and very different. The game's extraordinary atmosphere is summed up by a strange, ritualistic dance sequence performed in a temple with a distinctly dark grace and passion. All this is performed with effortless fluidity as the camera angles take on an almost film-like quality. If this is an indication of what is possible within the realms of Dark Cloud, then we really are in for a feast of top-quality, groundbreaking gameplay. The Time Splitters rule through hatred, fear, greed, malice and war. Now they've decided to put in a personal appearance on Earth. There are 3 game modes available in Time Splitters. The mission-based story mode allows you to play as different characters in different locations spanning a century between 1935 to 2035. Arcade mode offers several different game types, including Deathmatch, Bag Tag, Capture the Bag, Knockout, Escort and Last Stand. You can play these games on your own or with up to 3 other players, cooperatively or head-to-head. Literally everything can be altered, from the method of scoring, time limit, friendly fire damage and one-shot kills, to handicapping certain players, selecting bots and customizing weapons. Lastly, Challenge Mode is a bonus mode that lets you go up against pre-selected enemies, locations and weapons. It only becomes available once you've completed all levels in Story Mode. Gameplay is blisteringly fast. The frame rate is 60 frames per second according to IDOS. That's faster than many respectable PC shooters can manage. All in all, this game is insanely addictive and undoubtedly one of the best PS2 launch games. Question: how do you take a great PC game and make it even better? Answer: release it on PlayStation 2. We're not kidding. Infogrames and Epic Games have set the benchmark for PC to PS2 conversions with Unreal Tournament, a first-person 3D shoot-'em-up with gameplay and graphics to die for. Heralded for its fast and furious gameplay, advanced artificial intelligence and stunning graphics, the PC version of Unreal Tournament has been totally revamped to take full advantage of the PS2's strengths. What makes Unreal Tournament such a standout title is that it offers the same addictive, frenzied gameplay that Internet PC users are used to, whether you're playing against other human opponents or not. The game's artificial intelligence gives its computerized players the ability to play alongside or against you in a way that's extremely lifelike. The idea behind UT is simple: kill or be killed. If you've ever played any of Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, GoldenEye, or the multitude of other first-person shooters out there, you'll instantly be at home with the formula. There are several game types to choose from in UT: capture the flag, assault, domination, and the old favourite, deathmatch. Deathmatch is basically a free-for-all where the player who meets the required number of kills first wins. In Capture the Flag, the aim is to recapture your opponent's flag and bring it back to your own base before your enemy grabs yours. In Assault mode, your team of players must carry out a predetermined set of goals while the opposing team tries to stop them. The goal of Domination is to collect various icons that are sprinkled randomly throughout the level. You're rewarded with points for each second that you keep a hold of an icon. Unreal Tournament is a phenomenal must-buy that's coming to a PS2 near you shortly after Christmas. The first Metal Gear Solid game on PS1 brought you unprecedented graphical and gameplay innovation with an intricate and involving storyline. It was undoubtedly the game of 1998. Now, Snake is back on the PS2, and the best looks set to get better. In-game physics are fantastic, with heavy rain hitting Snake and bouncing off with an extreme sense of realism. The level of interaction is immense too. For instance, if you happen to miss your target, your stray bullets can go on to shear off leaves or smash objects such as bottles in the background. Enemies are now alerted to your presence unless you're extra careful. One tiny spot of blood on the floor, one piece of discarded broken glass, and you're in trouble. Your enemies even pick up your shadow on the floor. Snake is also now a lot more emotional, showing different facial expressions for different situations. So, once again, Konami looks set to raise the video game standards, providing, if not the best, then for the moment, the best-looking title in gaming history. With the highly impressive Winter X games coming from Konami, EA's SSX will have to be special to beat it. So is it SSXy, or will it leave you feeling numb? SSX doesn't have the trademarks and real-life personalities of Winter X games. Instead, it has 8 unique, colourful and interesting characters to choose from. With some fantastic stunts to perform, you're going to need a track to use them on, and SSX certainly has some bizarre courses. The most original is the pinball level, where you race through a pinball table track complete with flippers, ramps and secret bonus areas. You can also choose to race through snowbound cities, crashing through office windows, sliding across desks and using split-second timing to pull off cunning tricks. The learning curve of SSX is perfectly tuned. When you start, you'll find it fairly easy to perform a few grabs and slides, but when you're a little more experienced, you'll be stunning the crowds with perfectly executed double backflips. The graphics on this title are stunning to say the least, with every minor detail catered for. The gameplay is fast, but the funky hip-hop soundtrack makes SSX seem even faster and really adds to the adrenaline. The music interacts with the gameplay by fading out when you perform a trick well, leaving you with just the noise of the wind and the crowd's cheers in your ears. SSX is a wild, white-knuckle ride through a deranged world of speed and mayhem. Book your ticket now. If video games could be football teams, then ISS is Manchester United to FIFA's Chelsea. While FIFA is all flashy graphics and features gimmicks like excellent commentary by top pundits, it ultimately fails to satisfy where it matters, on the pitch. ISS, on the other hand, oozes top-quality gameplay out of every orifice and is genuinely fun to play, on your own or against a mate. It all gets off to an impressive start, with high-tech setup screens featuring digitised world maps. You have a choice of 6 stadiums to play in, and each one looks markedly different during the match. As in older ISS games, a smiley face next to his name indicates each player's current physical condition. The happier he looks, the better he'll perform on the pitch. Players are also affected by motivation, and choosing the right player as your captain will help improve this rating. Each player now has reams of stats to his name: goalkeeping, shooting, curve, speed, dash, tactics, defence, tactics, attack, stamina, jumping and passing, to name but a few. Before the match, you can choose from a stack of different tactical formations, from the conventional 4-4-2 to the distinctly kamikaze 1-4-5. The controls are intuitive. The longer you hold the shoot button, the more powerful your shot. A quick tap unleashes a daisy cutter, while holding the button down for a fraction too long will send the ball into orbit. International teams from all continents are featured, and you can play in league or cup competitions. Although its makeover is evolutionary rather than revolutionary, ISS is undoubtedly the most playable footy game on PS2 right now. Imagine the hit film Fight Club, but instead of beating a friend almost to the point of death in a seedy underground basement, you race illegally on the streets in anything that's got 4 wheels and an engine. This is Midnight Club. You're a taxi driver who one night is approached by a stranger in a car that resembles the type of pimpmobile you'd expect to see Starsky and Hutch in. This is where the game kicks in, and you get a feel of what Midnight Club is all about, as you race around the streets of New York City with no regard for anything or anyone. The action is relentless as you drive down one-way streets, narrowly avoiding oncoming traffic, whilst being tailgated, smashed into, and constantly harassed by the other racers as they try to make your car look like a moving scrap heap. The fast-paced action takes place firstly in New York City, then London. Both cities' landmarks are perfectly represented, with everything from London Bridge to Central Park just waiting for you to tear them up in a frenzy of high-octane action. As well as career mode, there are a multitude of other options available. You have the option to go for a cruise, which allows you to explore the city and also change everything from the weather to what time of night you want to drive. You can also select head-to-head and waypoint modes. The controls in Midnight Club are great to use, as they're both simple and effective. Everything seems to be perfectly placed and easily accessible. The cars are extra responsive, and it makes a change to have such a fast and responsive racing game all rolled into one. Boy, is this game fast! The game engine moves like a dream, and there's no lag in frame rate as you power through the streets, regardless of how many other cars or people are on the screen at the same time. This is a slick and well put together piece of software that has both attitude and style in abundance. At the moment, there's no racing game of this type to match Midnight Club, so sit back and enjoy the ride. THQ, best known for publishing Game Boy conversions of hit PlayStation games such as FIFA 2000 and Tomb Raider, has partnered with mobile phone manufacturer Siemens to jointly develop exciting interactive games for the emerging mobile entertainment market. Siemens and THQ have already revealed their first working prototype, an interactive golf game, showcased on SimPad, and the jointly developed Siemens Casio-connected Pocket PC Multi-Mobile. Pocket Golf is scheduled for worldwide release in 2001. If you're looking for a well-designed digital audio player, the stylishly crafted Rio 600 supports MP3 and Windows Media Audio, today's most popular digital music formats. You can easily capture and play back up to 1 hour of music from the internet or your favorite CDs. Custom-designed over-the-ear sport clip headphones ensure that S3's Rio 600 boasts outstanding sound reproduction. And with no moving parts, you can take the Rio anywhere and it'll never skip a beat. Rio 600 is on sale now for under £160. Is that your final answer? Recreate the excitement and tension of the hit TV quiz series in your own living room with Tiger Electronics' tabletop game. Complete with Chris Tarrant's voice, title music, sound effects and flashing lights. For 1 to 6 players, this electronic game comes with 1,500 questions and plays just like the TV show. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is available for £34.99 from all good toy stores. In this issue's interview, we chat to Lee Curtin, the guy whose dream of a job it is to promote Unreal Tournament. He gives us the lowdown on this monster release and shares us his thoughts on Xbox.
Unreal Tournament is going to be PlayStation 2's, one of PlayStation 2's first-person shoot-em-ups. It was last year's biggest hit on PC, and I believe it's going to be this year's biggest hit on PlayStation 2. At the moment, there's no plans on what Sony are doing with their modem. They are actually bringing out a modem, but yes, Unreal Tournament will be an online capability game. You will be able to play people online. John Riley, who's the producer for the BBC on Bleeding Thumbs, came to me with an idea about 6-7 months ago, where he wanted to use the Unreal Tournament engine. They wanted to have a section where there'd be a number of people linked up via the LAN, playing against each other on a huge screen. The actual levels would be made up to feature things like the Queen Vic and Albert Square, where two virtual Grant and Phil Mitchells can run around shooting each other over the bar. So it was just an idea that it came to having the first game one of the first big games on TV that people could actually interact with. I think you're going to see a lot of huge, decent products upon launch. I think there's something like 29 titles upon launch. There's going to be a lot of decent titles going into the beginning of 2001, but it's going to take a good 2-3 years before you actually see the cream of the crop come out. If you're lucky to have seen the Metal Gear 2 video, there's a prime example of that. Developers are still working out how to use, how to develop on the machine, because it's not one of the easiest machines in the world to develop on. But there is going to be some amazing stuff out there. At the moment, we've got a game called Motor Mayhem, which is a very Wipeout style bike game, very speedy. Superman is another one of our big titles. We're developing with Infogrames with Reflection Stuntman, which is the sequel to sort of Driver 2 on PlayStation 2. Infogrames are developing for Xbox, as are a number of many publishers out there. We have a number of games in development which I can't actually talk about at the moment. Any real games player will probably own an Xbox and a PlayStation 2, obviously if he's got the money, or she's got the money, but it is an amazing machine, but it's going to take a lot of hard work for Microsoft to make it as popular as PlayStation.
Ever wondered what it will be like to have the ability to play your favourite games without any boundaries? Ever wondered how your friend breaks through to the highest levels of every game or beats your scores with ease? He probably didn't want you to know about Action Replay. Within the millions of lines of code that make up your favourite video games, there exist variables and vulnerabilities. With the ability to manipulate the variables, you have ultimate power over anything and everything. Infinite health, infinite lives, all weapons, all items, all characters. You go anywhere, you do anything, and you kill everything. The Action Replay video game enhancer is available for PlayStation, N64, Game Boy, Dreamcast and PC platforms, and soon for PS2. Constant code updates at codejunkies.com assure that you'll always have the power to beat the game. We wanted to give you a taste of the Action Replay's ultimate power. Once you see how Action Replay can change your gaming experience for these titles, just imagine what it can do for the rest of your games. In this issue, access the greatest codes for Infogrames Driver 2 and Codemasters Nassim Boxing. Driver 2 is the must-have title this Christmas. If you fancy being the lucky owner of one of 20 copies of this awesome title, you need to enter this issue's competition. First prize winner will also bag a whole load of Driver 2 goodies. Just answer this piece of cake question to be in with a chance of winning. What's the name of Tanner's partner in Driver 2? Is it A, Tom Jones, B, Grace Jones, C, Tobias Jones? If you think you know the answer, call the competition line now on 09064 774 484 and follow the online instructions. You'll be asked your answer and for your name and address. Lines will close at midnight on Friday the 5th of January 2001. Winners will be picked at random by our computer and announced in PSI2's February issue. Winner details will also be posted on the Code Junkies website, www.codejunkies.com.